Welcome to the Intuit QuickBooks Enterprise Advanced Reporting demonstration. Advanced Reporting provides more customization and data access than ever before. Advanced Reporting is the best source of QuickBooks data, provides the most customizable reporting tool yet, with interactive visualization. With Advanced Reporting, you can access all of your QuickBooks data. All useful data is now available in an easy-to-understand language and a data-based report builder that allows grouping and visualization of data columns. Now you can unlock insights so you can make strategic decisions about where your business can grow. We know that you're unique, and so is your business. And default templates don't always fit your exact needs. With Advanced Reporting, you can build right-for-me reports by customizing every aspect of your report. You can also build reports from scratch, and it allows you to include all kinds of data fields, including custom fields specific to your business. Advanced Reporting gives you enhanced searching and filtering tools, gives you the ability to pick and choose the data you want to analyze and report on, and it will help you find new ways to take your business to the next level and discover untapped insights about how to make your business grow. Let's take a look at a demonstration of Advanced Reporting.
QuickBooks Advanced Reporting. QuickBooks Advanced Reporting is the newest benefit, the free benefit of your QuickBooks Enterprise Full Service Plan. It is a separate application that provides the best source of QuickBooks data, basically anything that you could enter inside of QuickBooks and even lots of system-related data, into a separate application that is a very powerful and customizable and flexible reporting and business intelligence tool. So in this video, we'll be covering the basics on how to get started, how to access QuickBooks Advanced Reporting, a little bit about how it works and how it's set up, some of the things that we've created as shortcuts for you to start creating advanced reports that are specific to your business. We'll even go through a couple of examples of how to use advanced reporting for your business to build the reports that you're looking for. So you'll notice on the screen right now, what we're looking at is your QuickBooks homepage. You'll be able to access QuickBooks Advanced Reporting from the Reports menu within QuickBooks. So you'll be able to see a new option in your menu for Advanced Reporting. If it's not yet entitled for your business, if you're not a full service plan member, you can call into our sales team and they will add Advanced Reporting onto your order for no additional cost. If it's not entitled for you, this will say Learn About Advanced Reporting. It'll take you to a web page with instructions on how to give us a call and get it set up. Otherwise, once it is entitled, the admin of your QuickBooks company file will be the first person to see this menu item. So the admin will be able to go in and set up Advanced Reporting for your business. And then Advanced Reporting will then be available to anyone that the admin gives privileges to. You can find that in the file section of your roles and permissions inside of QuickBooks. So you can give anybody within your business access to Advanced Reporting, but once they do have access to Advanced Reporting, they'll have access to all of the data inside of your QuickBooks. So you do want to make sure it's somebody who is entitled to actually see all different types of data inside of your QuickBooks file, not somebody that just has a specific role like a sales guy who'd be entering in invoices and looking at customer information, because all of the data is available in Advanced Reporting. So the very first time that you click on Advanced Reporting, it will actually do the setup process. So I've already got it running on my machine. So it will actually bring up Advanced Reporting for me. But the first time that you launch it, what's actually happening behind the scenes is it's pulling all the data out of your QuickBooks file, and it is creating a bunch of tables. So it's bringing the best source of data outside of QuickBooks into all these different tables, and then building a data model on which you can build advanced reports very quickly, very efficiently, and without having to have a lot of technical knowledge on how to combine different disparate sets of data that you couldn't previously combine inside of QuickBooks today. So that process can take anywhere from a few seconds, a few minutes, even maybe up to an hour. It's really dependent upon how much data you have inside of your QuickBooks file, and it also depends on the specifications of your computer as well. So if you've got a 64-bit machine and you don't have a lot of data in your QuickBooks company file, it'll happen actually in just a few seconds. But if you do have a slower, older machine and you've got a really big data file, it could take a little while. So it's pulling all that data out. The data will sit right next to where your QuickBooks company file is located. And so you'll be able to see that. For this particular company file, I've got it located in my documents here. I'll be able to pull it up for you in a second so you can see how this looks on your machine. All the data is encrypted, so it's stored right next to your QuickBooks company file, and it does not have the ability for you to go in and kind of click on any of these files and open it up and see it. The only way to really access advanced reporting and any of the data that we're using is through QuickBooks and through the advanced reporting application. So we are able to kind of control and make sure that we're taking care of your data and it's all secure. So here's all the different tables, and we'll use all of these data tables and all of this data that we're pulling out of QuickBooks inside the advanced reporting tool. So the advanced reporting tool is a separate application that loads. You'll notice there's a couple different applications here. And so when you first load it up, it will give you a list of reports that you can choose, or you can start from scratch as well. But this reports list right here are really just some of the templates that we've created. These mimic existing reports that are already available in QuickBooks today, but we've done some of the work just to put them together so that we can give you some examples on how to build a report, and also you'll be able to see behind the scenes how we went and built these particular reports. Also, they can be a really good jumping off point. So we did a lot of research to figure out what are some reports inside of QuickBooks today that have really been nagging some customers that they weren't able to customize them beyond what you're able to do inside of QuickBooks today. So these are really good starter reports for you to launch and then start customizing them a little bit more to meet your business's specific needs. So now I'm going to talk just a little bit about the overall setup of advanced reporting and what we recommend in terms of best practices for how to construct a report. And a really good example of that is going to be this AR aging summary starter report. So I'm going to open that up from my reports list here. Just click on it and then click the open button. And now it's going to load the report. Now, since I'm using sample data, it's not going to actually let me do the AR aging dashboard. Open it up. Now, since I'm using sample data, there are going to be a few gaps, and all of the data is going to look like it's all pretty much in current state. But you'll notice that the AR aging dashboard is a good representation of what you can do inside of advanced reporting that you can't do in QuickBooks, because really what we've got here are 4 different reports that are showing up more in a dashboard. And so you should really think of advanced reporting as kind of a business intelligence tool as opposed to just a report builder. Typically in QuickBooks, what you're used to seeing are things like this, just really tables of data. So what we've got in this dashboard is a pie chart that shows all of your accounts receivable, and it divides them up by how overdue they are. So it'll split them into the different AR aging intervals. You can change the interval by entering in a new figure here. So I could set it for 15-day intervals, and then it would break everything down by 15-day intervals. Then you also have a bar chart that shows you your top 5 overdue customers. And now we're combining transaction summary, so the AR aging summary report, and then the AR aging detail report as well. So you could see the specific transactions that make up the balances for each of these customers. Now, everything that you see on the screen here is its own separate object, and every object can be customized to your heart's desire. So we've created these as just kind of basic starting points for you, but you can go ahead, get into the details of them, and change them in any way. I'll do something simple to show you how that works. So, for example, even this right here, the title, it's its own object. I can right-click on it, and then it brings up this little drop-down. Properties is where you're going to be going to customize a lot of things. Since this is just a text box, there aren't as many options, but you can still see there's quite a few options for how you can change it. So you can make it look any way that you want to. You can add an image. You can add background colors. Basically anything that you want to do. I'm going to change the title of this one, so I'm just going to call it my sales aging dashboard. And then I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to update right there. So that's just how you go about customizing anything here. You can also drag and drop anything on the screen wherever you want to, just to get it to fit just right. And so essentially we've got the main body of a report, and then along the left-hand side is really where we recommend adding a lot of your filters. And these filters in advanced reporting are called list boxes. They've got some basic common ones that we'll be using a lot. One is the current selections. Because this is a business intelligence tool and not just a reporting tool, filtering is really kind of one of the primary tasks that you'd be doing in advanced reporting. And so current selections lets you know what are the filters that you've got set. So if I wanted to just select a certain set of customers here, I can kind of drag and drop and just select a subset of these customers. And now I can see that it's selected, 8 of these particular customers, and everything is updated to only show me those particular customers that I've got selected. I can click the little eraser button to remove that. So that's what the current selection box will be doing. It'll let you know what you've got selected. Now also you might notice just the colors here along the left-hand side. And what that's representing is anything that's white means that there are possible values for it. Anything that's gray means there are no possible values for it. And then anything that's green, and you'll see that, if I select one of them, like utility shed, that means that that is currently selected. So that's just kind of the basic color structure, giving you a visual cue of what you've got available here. So the next thing that I want to show you that advanced reporting provides beyond this kind of list of starter reports, and this is also the list where any of your custom reports will show up as well. And you can kind of filter and say, I just want to see certain types of reports, or I want to see the starter reports, or just my custom reports. So these are ones that I've previously created. But another thing that we've done is once you're actually into a particular report, we've got this library here. And so the library is really a bunch of these objects that we've created ahead of time for you so that you don't have to create them on their own. So it's basically a shortcut for you to be able to do some things pretty quickly. So I'm going to add another list box or filter, if you will, and I'm going to add one for class. I know that this company file is using classes to track different types of business. This is kind of a construction type of company file. So if I just select new construction, all of a sudden everything, all 4 of the different charts that I've got showing here, so all 4 of these different reports, everything in the dashboard, is now updated to only show transactions that have been tracked using class. So all of a sudden my pie chart had changed, and so everything is very overdue for new construction jobs. The top 5 customers have changed to only show me those customers who are new construction jobs, have transactions related to them, and I can see this is updated, and I really only have these, 7 or so jobs that are new construction, and I can also see all of the particular transactions related to them as well. So that's just kind of a quick way on how you can use these objects to add something to your report without having to create it from scratch. Now, another thing that you can do at any time is just click on the white space within advanced reporting, and then you can add a new sheet object. And so this is basically the long way of creating some of these things that we've created over here in the library for you. So things like list boxes that we just went over, those are kind of filters. You can create a table box, which is really just going to show you a table of data. But charts are the most common, and so that's kind of the meaty data. So all 4 of these things, the pie chart, the bar chart, even these tables are chart objects. So there's a little wizard that'll pop up if you select chart object, where you first get to select, what type of chart should it be, what do you want it called, and you can also allow it to quickly change between a variety of them, and it walks you through a little wizard on how to build that. But we've taken a lot of that work out if you decide to use something that's from the library. but I just wanted to show you an example of how you can create any of those things just by right-clicking and going to New Sheet Object, and you can go ahead and add, essentially anything that you want to your report, and start from scratch that way. The next thing that I want to show you is how to create a report from scratch, and I'm going to leverage the library of objects to build this particular report. So I know that in our library we've got a lot of things that make it very easy for you to build a sales dashboard pretty quickly, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a sales dashboard. So first I'm going to add this current selections. I just double click on any object within the library here to add it to the report. Once it's there, I can move it around just by clicking and dragging it. So I got this report title, and I can move that anywhere that I want to. I'm also going to add some charts to this report. So I want to see sales over the last 12 months, and then I want to see my last 12 months. What are the top items that I've been selling? In addition, I'm also going to add a table just of all of my sales transactions, so I can see what's making up this data here. I'm also going to add a ribbon date. So along the top here, it gives me basically filters to select the dates that I want displayed. So I can filter and just see 2013, and then all of these have kind of updated to show me what happened in 2013. Now I can select multiple things in here too. I can say 2013, but I just want January and February, and it will show me that as well. So that's how these filters work. You could certainly apply many and many of them on top of each other just to really slice and dice and dive into the specific data that you're looking for. Now, in addition to these kind of charts, what's going to help me kind of round out this sales dashboard, I'm going to add some filters to it as well, or some list boxes. So I'm going to add customers. I'm going to add class, and I'm going to add sales transaction types as well. And then I'm going to start getting to work here, customizing this a little bit more for my business. So we're looking at 2013. I've got the sales for, by month, and then I'm also looking at kind of the top 10 items. Now, if I wanted to see just new construction jobs, I could certainly do that by just clicking on that filter. I can see I've got invoices and sales receipts for new construction jobs, so maybe I just want to look at invoices. And then I've got myself a nice little sales dashboard. This particular company file doesn't have any sales reps in it, but I know that that's a popular thing. You could add your sales reps as another list box here, and then you could look at your sales dashboard by sales rep and really quickly be able to go back and forth between sales reps to see how they're doing over time. So that's a nice one to be able to add as well. Now, another way that I'm going to customize this is that this sales transaction table down here is really just showing me a high-level summary of each transaction and the line items in it, but I want to add something to it. So I'm going to right-click on this sales transaction table. I'm going to go up to properties. Now you notice that there's a lot of properties that you can really add for a chart object. So the general tab is what we were kind of looking at before. What type of chart is it? But then you've got dimensions and expressions. So dimensions are essentially anything that's going to really be sorting and grouping your data. And so there's only one dimension in this table, and that's transaction type. So everything's kind of sorted by the transaction type. And then expressions you should think of as kind of the meat of the report, where you're just kind of listing out the data. So the customer name, the transaction number, the transaction date, and the amount are all expressions that we've got in this particular table. Now these can just be straight data, or you can also build something that is a calculation as well. So I'm going to add a commission amount onto this as a new expression. So I'm going to go ahead and hit add, and what comes up here is a expression builder. Now if you're very familiar, you can just start typing in here and build an expression, but for those of us like myself who aren't extremely savvy, I can use these drop downs here as well, and I can build my expression that way. So this first one for table basically gives you all those different tables that I showed previously that we're pulling out and extracting from your data. So it's a really good way to slim down and filter the data that you're looking at. Otherwise, if you just click on field, you'll be able to see the immense amount of data that we've got in QuickBooks. So it can be a little bit harder to find exactly what you're looking for. Now I know I want amount with sign, so I'm going to grab that one. And essentially that's what's being used for the amount in this particular table here. And I'm going to multiply it by 15%. And I'm going to hit OK. Now I can give it a name. If I don't give it a name, it's just going to use whatever was listed over here. And in this case, it's kind of the definition, but I'm going to call it commission because I'm applying a 15% commission onto the amount of all of these different transactions. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And now I'll notice that there's a new column that showed up called commission. It's doing a calculation based off of this. Now I can also go and I can change the number. I want to change it to money, and that way it'll look really nicely for me. So it just does the 2 decimal points when I change that. Sorry, I need to do commission. Change that to money. Hit OK. All right, so now I'm looking at my commission. I got all the dollar signs and everything, so it's looking the way that I want to. Another nice trick that you can do to kind of customize this report as well, as you can kind of play around with some what-if scenarios. So instead of hard coding in 15% as my commission, I can actually create a variable for commission, and then I can have that be something that I use as an input box, and I can change the commission amount at any time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to go to a new sheet object, and I'm going to add in an input box. I'm going to call this commissions. I'm going to create a new variable called commission rate. Hit OK. OK. And now I've got this new kind of input box here where I can enter in what I want my commission rate to be. So I'll put it in at 10% now. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to update this, and I'm going to link that particular variable to this field here. So instead of multiplying it by 15%, I'm going to multiply it by commission rate, and I'm going to hit OK. And now you'll see that this has been updated to only show 10%. And now I can really easily go back in. I can change it to 20%, and all the data just kind of flows through really nicely for me. So I can see what the commissions would be. I can do some what-if analysis on it. And I'm really using this variable, which is a nice, flexible, powerful feature of advanced reporting. Now, I'm going to go ahead and change this report title really quickly and then save this report. So I'm going to call this Sales Dashboard with Commissions. Okay. Save this. And now when I go back to my list, I'll notice that I have this here. It's a sales dashboard with commissions. So I can come back to it at any time. The data will update. The next time that I launch advanced reporting, it's going to ask me if I want to refresh my data. I don't have to go back and build this report every single time that I want to look at it. So I know a lot of you may have experience with QuickBooks where you're doing a lot of exporting reports to Excel, exporting multiple reports, and then trying to meticulously keep them up to date. You've built some calculations in there, and then it's a repeatable task that you got to do, and it's just kind of mind-numbing to have to do it over and over again every time you want a particular report that isn't available in QuickBooks. Advanced reporting will save those as your custom reports. You can come back to them at any time. You don't have to do the work of constructing the report anymore. You can just have the data updated and flow in here automatically for you. So another report example that I did want to show you as well, as opposed to starting from scratch, I'm going to give you an example of where it might be nice to start from something that we already have built as a starter report. So I'm going to start with the sales by item detail report. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And the sales by item detail report's just the same one that you would see inside of QuickBooks today. It basically gives you all of your items and all the transactions for them. So I'm going to expand all. It had everything kind of nested and sorted and grouped, first by item type, then by the item name, and then it shows all the transactions for each of those item names. Now I've already got some filters in here on this particular report, so if I wanted to, I could say I just want to see 2013. It's going to slim stuff down really nicely for me. But the report that I'm trying to create here now is actually a purchasing type report. And so it's really nice to be able to see how much you've sold over certain periods of time in order to make a good decision about what you need to buy in the future. Now, the data that we need to add to this report obviously is what kind of quantity on hand do I have? So what's my inventory? What's my stock levels right now? And then maybe I have things on sales orders or purchase orders that I might take into consideration as well, so that I can know what specific items I'm going to need to buy. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this report to create that kind of inventory purchasing worksheet. Now the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to right click on this particular table. I'm going to look at, so I don't need the item type anymore. I'm going to remove that. I do need the item name, but I don't even care about the transactions within there. I'll just kind of use the filters to find out the the dates and such. Now under the expressions here, I obviously don't need the date of the transaction. I don't need the transaction number. I'm going to keep memo because sometimes I put the description of my items in the memo. I'm going to remove the customer name. I'm going to remove the amount as well. And I'm going to remove the sales price and the unit of measure. I'm going to change the name of this as well because I'm going to have a variety of quantities on this purchasing worksheet. I'm going to say quantity sold. And this is really going to represent the quantity of these products that I've sold over whatever period of time I've filtered over here. Now I'm going to add in a couple of new expressions here. And so I'm going to go to my item table. And then within the fields, you'll notice some of them, like color here, this is my custom fields. That's really powerful as well. I know that QuickBooks sometimes doesn't give you the best access to all of your custom fields, especially not if you want to use them to really drive important data in your report, if you want to kind of sort or subtotal or filter by certain custom fields. That's all that data is available for you inside of advanced reporting. But I'm looking right now for the quantity on hand. So I will have item quantity on hand. I'll just paste that in there and hit OK. I'm going to call it quantity on hand, or QOH. And then I'm going to add another one. And for this one, again, I'm going to go back to the item table. And I'm going to be looking for the quantity on sales order. I'll paste that. Because if it's on a sales order, I've already committed it. I want to make sure that I take account of that. So I'm really trying to get at what's my quantity available for sale. So I'm going to call this quantity on sales order. Now I'm going to add another one. I'm getting kind of good at this, so I'm going to start typing as opposed to looking in there. I know this is item.quantity, and on order represents the on purchase order. So I will hit OK, and I'll call this one quantity on PO. Okay. And now you'll see that I've got a nice little report here that shows me each individual item, shows me the quantity sold over a period of time. So this is over 2013. And it shows me right now what's my quantity on hand, what's my quantity on my sales order, and then is there a quantity on purchase order as well. Now to take it a step further, I'm actually going to build an additional expression here. And this one is going to basically take the item dot quantity on hand, and it's going to subtract the item dot quantity on sales order, because I've already committed those products to one of my customers. And then I'm going to also add to that item dot quantity on purchase order, because I've already ordered some of those products. I'm expecting them to arrive any day now, and I'll hit OK. And then for the label, I'm going to call this quantity available. So I'll hit OK, and now I can quickly see hey, over the last year for cabinet pulls, I sold 266 of them. I've got 423 in stock, none on sales orders, none on purchase orders, so I've got 423 that are available. I probably should be good for the next year, maybe even 2 years based on my past sales trends. But I can certainly play around with my filters here to see what my sales trends have been. I could also add a chart to see my item sales over time, to start to look at some of the trends and help me really make some smart decisions about what products I need to buy. So I'm just going to quickly wrap up by changing the name of this report. So I'm going to call this a inventory purchasing worksheet with sales. And I'm going to move it over here so it's a little more centered. Save as. Hit OK. And now I'll notice in my list that I've got this inventory purchasing worksheet with sales. And again, it's there for me to come back to at any time if I need to do my purchasing on a weekly or a monthly basis, or even if I do it on a daily basis. I can just come back into advanced reporting. I don't need to do any of that work that I just did to customize and create this report. It's already there for me. There's no exporting to Excel or anything like that that I need to do. I'll just have updated data and be able to make a very quick decision on what I need to buy. Now, lastly, what I want to show you is just a couple of other things that you can do with advanced reporting. So you've already seen the starter reports that are really good if you've got a report that's kind of similar to one of these where you just want to tweak it a little bit. You've also been able to see how to create things from scratch. So you can use the library, or you can right-click anywhere to create a new object. You've also seen how to save them, and you can come back to them over time if you want to. I've even shown you a couple tricks around creating some dimensions and expressions to build out a specific report that meets your needs, and even how to do something like variables to do some kind of what-if analysis, or this particular one, profit and loss by class per head count, is another great example of that, where I've built in basically a P&L, and then I wanted to see what each of my income and expense accounts were doing per head count. And I can change my head count based on if I add or remove employees, and I can see how I'm doing in each of these particular categories per employee, if that's a figure that's important to me. But the last couple stuff that I want to look at is really just some of the extra tips and tricks and things that can help you kind of use advanced reporting well. So the first one is any of these particular objects here, or your reports, you can very easily export it to Excel. So if you want to, you just click that Excel button, and it'll open up this report in Excel. So if you're not completely comfortable, or if you don't know how to do something inside of advanced reporting, you're a little bit more comfortable doing it in Excel, you'll be able to get this whole report out into Excel pretty quickly. Maybe you need to combine it with a different set of data or something like that. This is a really great way for you to be able to get that data out into Excel. You can also print it, and so you can view it. This one I'll just print to a PDF so we can see it. And the printed PDF will show up so you can print it as PDF. It'll ask you where you want to save it. I'll save this one to my desktop. And it'll launch it. I'll be able to see it just here as a printout. This is a particularly long report, so you can certainly do some customization before you print it to make sure that it looks the way that you want to. But another important thing related to printing that I wanted to show is that you can actually print everything that's on the screen. So if you've created a really nice dashboard that you want to look at, you can have that be printed, and you can have that be able to print it out and view all the different reports that you've got in the particular dashboard. So we'll go back to this sales dashboard with commissions that we built. I'm going to open that up because that does have a variety of different reports on it. You can see there's 3 different reports here. And so if I use the print option from on top here, it's going to ask me, take me through the typical printing. And then when I get this out as a PDF, what you'll notice is that all the objects that were on the screen get printed. And so I can see not only my reports, but even the filters that I had set. And so this printout really provides not just one table of data, but it'll provide all the information that I've got, so I can really see everything that I created in this dashboard printed onto one sheet, which can be really handy. Now, in addition to printing, you've got the ability to share this report, and so this is really handy, particularly if you're working with your accountant or some kind of consultant who might be helping you build reports. And the way that this feature works is essentially you can save this report and share it, and it's just a skeleton. It's not going to include your data in it, but it's going to include any of the logic that you put into building this report. So any of the, as we built this kind of commissions, and we even have this variable, all that stuff's going to be saved, and then whoever opens it with whatever company file they open it with, it's going to use their data in it. So it's a really great way if your accountant builds a report for you, they can share it with you, and then you can import it and use it, and your data will show up in there, so you don't even need to send your data to your accountant in order to have a report built by somebody else. The import feature is how you would then bring that in. So once you share a report, it essentially asks you to save it. I'm going to call this a sales dashboard. I'm going to save it to my desktop, and it saves it as this .qvr file. And then when you go ahead and hit import, I can look for it. I got the sales dashboard QVR file, and that's how I would open it up again. One last thing that I did want to mention is that our product team is working really hard at making advanced reporting better. We've been pushing out regular releases for a while now, and so we are constantly updating advanced reporting. So you will notice from time to time when you launch advanced reporting that it will say that a new version is available. Go ahead and update that. We're trying to make it better very quickly. So we're trying to add lots of new features and functionality and things that make it easier for you to use through all of those updates, and they'll be coming pretty rapidly. You can also give us feedback, and so this feedback button is going to take you to a help site where you can learn about advanced reporting, and it's going to take you to a place where you can submit your feedback. This goes directly to our product team, the folks who are building advanced reporting. We read every single one of these, and this is a primary source of information when we're deciding what we want to build next. So please give us feedback early and often. If you need support as well, here's our support number, so you can reach out and get some help. But in addition to giving us feedback here, you also have access to some FAQs, and you've got some training videos if you want more information on how to use advanced reporting. I do want to call out that these training videos are using the underlying technology behind advanced reporting, which is called QuickView. So you may notice it looks a little bit different in some of the videos because we're using the videos for the QuickView application, not just the QuickBooks Advanced Reporting. So Advanced Reporting does have some kind of unique user interface kind of along the top and with a library experience that you won't see in just the standard QuickView application. And that's why these videos may look a little bit different to you. But certainly all the functionality that they're showing off in terms of how to build a chart, exploring the chart properties, building, using dimensions and expressions, all of that stuff applies in advanced reporting. There's also some getting started guides here for learning how to use QuickView too, so you can download those PDF references. And so this is essentially our support site. If you're looking to give us feedback, learn more about advanced reporting, or if you need to call us and get some help getting it set up. So I hope this has been informational for you, that you've learned a little bit more about QuickBooks Advanced Reporting and how it can help your business. It's an awesome new benefit with the full service plan for QuickBooks Enterprise, and it's one that you should be able to use every day provides you the best source of QuickBooks data, better data than you can get through any other means. No more time exporting a whole bunch of reports to Excel, tweaking them, making sure that you don't make any mistakes. You can have insights at your fingertips and a very interactive tool, that allows you to really filter and drill down on information as you see fit. And thank you very much.
For next steps, you can contact your QuickBooks Enterprise product specialist to purchase QuickBooks Enterprise with advanced reporting.